Hey guys, it's Armando. This is my video on my 15 video, part of my 15 video series challenge. This is a video about my thoughts on ghosts and spirits and stuff like that. I'm not going to be sitting here talking about the gospel or atheism or anything like that. It just has to do with like ghosts and spirits and stuff, right? Everyone's had a spooky moment or known someone who's had a spooky moment or watches the dang shows on it, whatever. Speaking of which, I look like a ghost right now. Look at the skin's like white. Not that it's not white, but it's like really white right now. So I scare easily, so it does not take me much to get really like, I want some company if I'm by myself. So I'm going to tell you a ghost story. I hope I don't get spooked out just talking about it, because the topic of ghosts and spirits, although thrilling, actually scares me. Do I believe in ghosts and spirits? I guess that's the first thing to get out of the way. I don't know, to tell you the truth. I do have a story and I'll tell you in a little bit, but I don't know. That's all I can say. I do believe in hereafter. I don't know what the heck that is. I don't know who goes where or what. I don't know. I don't think anyone knows. And I don't know if there's lingering entities or spirits or anything like that on Earth. Okay, get that out of the way. My uncle, this is really horrible, died in the house. Supposedly he was cleaning a gun and shot himself in the chest. And I don't know. There's, in the back of everyone's minds, we're all wondering if it was suicide or what. There wasn't a note. His door was locked. I don't know, like 10 plus years later, I moved into the house so I can go to college. Aubrey, my sister, and my older sister, Eris, so Aubrey's the youngest, Eris is the oldest, have both had feelings of just something's watching you kind of feeling. Aubrey, my youngest, there we go, she told me this story after I told her my story. I'm going to tell you her story first. So she was in her room. I think she was studying or reading or something like that. It was really quiet. No one was home at all. And she thinks that she hears footsteps. And she's like, maybe Grandma's home. So she peeks out her door and looks around the whole house outside, looks for her car. Her car's not home. No one's home. So she's like, okay, whatever. She goes back to her studies. 30 minutes later, same thing. Footsteps, right? Weird. So she's like, okay, this is creepy. I'm leaving. I'm going to go study at the cafe. So she goes. Okay, so her story was before what happened to me. What happened to me was, I think it was like a couple weeks later. She never told me this story because I don't know, she just didn't, we were always busy going to college and stuff, like passing boats in the sea kind of thing. A couple weeks later, I was putting my makeup on in the morning and I hear the same thing. I hear footsteps. And I'm like, okay, what the heck is that sound? I do the same thing as my sister. I get up, I check around the house, no one's home, look for the car, no one's there, and I'm like, that's really weird. So I go back to putting my makeup on, and a few minutes later I hear the same dang thing. And it's not like a tapping, it is footsteps. Like, it sounds like someone heavy is coming down the freaking hallway. And the hallway's wood. It just sounds like someone's walking to the bedroom. And it's like, this is the creepiest part. It sounded like, and Aubrey says the same thing, someone walked to the door and to my door and stopped there and was standing there, but no one was there. That's what gives me, I'm getting chills right now just talking about it. I told you I get freaked out when I talk about this stuff. So not only do I hear footsteps, I get this eerie feeling someone's staring at me from the door that's open, my bedroom door. And I'm just like, oh my God. But the second time, I grab a couple of my makeup things I didn't finish and I ran out the door. I'm freaked out. Later that day when Aubrey and I are home, I tell her about it and she's like, oh my gosh, the same thing happened to me. Same thing. She's like, I even felt that eerie someone's watching me thing. And it was just freaky. It was freaking us out. And then from then on, we could not be in that house without someone else being there. It was just too creepy. And to top it off, before all this, when it was me and my older sister living there, she moved out eventually and then Aubrey moved in, basically. Her cat would always freak out in the hallway. Like, the cat would, I don't know if this is a cat thing or what, the cat would stand in the hallway and then all of a sudden go like running back and forth and like growling and pss, you know, stuff like that. It was weird, right? Really weird. Eris, my older sister, not only was her cat weird there, she also felt someone was watching her kind of feeling. I asked my grandma, I approached it very, very softly, and I was like, Grandma, do you ever feel like, you know, Uncle Robert is like here in this house still? She was like, I've never felt anything, but that's, you know, interesting kind of thing. So she never experienced anything like we did, but the thought just creeps me out. Yeah, and I love her house. It was so horrible after that experience, not being able to be in her house by myself anymore. It just freaked me out. There were a couple times, and this is like a lot of information, where I was so scared at night for no reason, just the creepiness, because I lived in his bedroom where he died. Weird. There was a couple nights where I was so like creeped out feeling. I had horrible nightmares there. Like, okay, I'll just finish my sentence, that I had to go run over to Tosh's place and sneak in, and because he lived with his parents at the time, sneak in and like sleep with him. I was so scared. My dreams. I forgot about these. Quite often, and this could be a stress related thing too, with nightmares, it's because of stress and your mind's really active, right? And I was in college at the time, but there were a couple nights where a lot of nights where I'd have this really weird dream. It's so hard for me to explain because I've explained it a few times to different people and they're like, but it felt like I was in between sleeping and not sleeping. That little weird world where you're like aware you're sleeping. It's just, you know what I mean? Like in between sleeping and not sleeping. Where I felt like my body was dropping, and I was going to die if I didn't wake up. Just this feeling of dread and death, like being pulled and sucked into this death hole. I don't know how else to explain it. If I didn't wake up, I would die. I would die. I would go in death. It's just so freaking scary. And not only that, I was paralyzed. Like my body, I couldn't move it. If that makes any sense. I couldn't wake myself up. I was aware. I was trying to wake up at that point, and I couldn't because my body was paralyzed. And all I could do was make a whimpering noise because I was freaked out in my mind. And then I would have those dreams a lot. Those are really weird dreams. I stopped having them when I moved out. I don't know. Is that weird, guys? I don't know. So that's my experience with ghosts and spirits. I guess that's my only encounter. My mom said sometimes pipes make really weird sounds, like foot sounds or something, but I swear to God, it sounded like the wood. The wood was making footsteps, you know, or someone was walking on wood down the hallway. That's what it sounded like to me, and Aubrey too. It was quite defined, the sound. So yeah, creepiness.